Hello, happy Friday. It's Cynthia Morris from my very bright and sunny studio. Look at this crazy light show. Ooh, who needs special effects when you just have natural light? I mean, we're getting some special effects here. I kind of like that one. I'm kind of just stalling. Hi, Dara. I'm stalling until more people show up. I'm doing the special effects. Woo! Oh, that's kind of fun. I'm having too much fun. All right. That's a little more normal. Okay. Hey, Dara, how's it going? What's new out there with you in North Carolina? Is that where you live? I'm going to talk today about progress with my book. And hey, Matthew, how's it going? I haven't seen you in forever. Do you still work at Ion? I don't know if you do. All right. Hey, Joanne. Welcome. I'm here every month for the last 3 months. I've come on to share the progress with writing my book. And this month, it's something special. There's a landmark that I have crossed. Hey, Joe. Hey, Shauna. Welcome. I'm feeling a little tired today, and I'm starting to notice the impact of intellectual work, the kind of focused work at the computer, focusing on writing a book, finishing a book, is actually really tiring. And it didn't used to be. Maybe this is just me getting older, or maybe this is me just noticing that it really does take energy to think and to write and to gather a book together. So I'm feeling a little mellow today, but I really wanted to come on and share where I'm at with writing my book, The Busy Woman's Guide to Writing a World-Changing Book. And I'm very excited because today I have a show and share, and this is the manuscript of the book. It is double-sided because I want to save paper. Just flap through, and people always ask how many pages it is, but when you're writing a book, it doesn't matter how many pages it is, because as you can see, the page size of this is much different than the page size of a book. So what we look at when we're writing a book is the word count. So it's 30,028 words is where I'm at with this draft of the book. And I just wanted to share a little bit of the progress or the process that I have done with this. If you've seen any of the others Facebook Lives I did about the book, you'll know that I do different drafts, and each draft is so much better than the next. So I start out with a shaggy first draft that's just free written. I have my table of contents that I'm working from, and then I just free write and get just the basic thoughts out. They're very incomplete. They're very not polished or even whole or complete chapters, but I just do a draft just to get something out. And then I work on each of those chapters to make it better. Then I put it into one document, so I've got the whole book. I use the table of contents in a separate document, and that way I'm able to kind of go from the table of contents to write the book and make sure that it's actually, I'm writing to the table of contents. I'm not writing some random thing. And anytime I get a random idea or an idea of something to put in there, I go to the table of contents to see if it's fits and where does it fit. So this last draft was really, now it's making it actually hang together as a whole. It's got to be complete. Each chapter has to make sense. It has to flow from one chapter to the next. It has to be good and read well. So the other thing that I was working on in this chapter was really how do things go together, what's necessary. As I was reading through the whole thing, I was able to see, oh, there are some redundancies. I don't need that. I keep saying this. I can move that. I can get rid of that. So I was going to see what Shauna's saying. Look, you get to feel the difficulties of writing so you can have how you get through it, your book. Yes. Okay, good. I'm glad this is useful for you, Shauna. So, because I'm always interested in hearing people's process. So, I would call like each subsequent draft is where the rubber really meets the road. You're just like, all right, is this good? Is this making sense? And I will confess that along the way, you go through all of these different experiences and emotions and thoughts like, oh, is this any good? Does this make any sense? We don't really need this book. And every time those thoughts come up, it's just like, well, I don't know. I can't really decide that right now. I'm not the judge of that. All I can do is keep showing up and writing the book. So, what else do I want to say? So I noticed that this was the part of the process where I was really making a lot of decisions. Like, okay, this part doesn't belong. This belongs here. This needs to be moved around. And yesterday, as I was going through the final, what I wanted to do is make sure that the table of contents matched the headings of each chapter, and that the table of contents, I was going to write a table of contents that was clever. I noticed that in books these days, the table of contents titles are often clever. So it doesn't really say what it is. It's more kind of revealing the promise, or here's something fun or clever that I would say about this chapter that makes you curious to know what's in there and makes you go to the chapter and open it, versus a chapter title that just says very clearly what's in it, like clear the decks, befriend your inner critic, align with your inner champion, rally your allies. So they're fairly clear. It's kind of clear what it is. It might still make you curious, but it's not obtuse. I realize if this is the busy woman's guide, the busy woman doesn't want to take time to figure out, well, what is she talking about? I don't know what she means. What is that about? The busy woman needs just clear, like, here it is, straight up. So I was going through and revising the table of contents, making sure that chapter titles are clear. And then I was going through and making sure they kind of all were in the right order. We have 4 parts of the book. The first part is just, here's the quick and dirty how to get started. And then the other parts are much more everything that I've learned about how to write a book and everything I tell my clients and work on my clients with. So it's a very satisfying moment to print it up. It's a big deal for me to print it up, have it in my hands and hold it in my hands. And I've got it in a clip. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set it aside. I'm not doing anything with it. I'm leaving a week from today on my honeymoon, so I'm not thinking about the book. I'm not working on the book. I'm done. The next week will be getting ready to close the office so that I'm able to go away for 10 days. And then I'll be back, and starting the third week of April, I will be working on it until my next deadline is May 18th. So it's about a month, another month of working on it. And that's the part where what I do next is I sit around at the cafe or in the park or on the couch and I read this with a pen in hand. And that's where I'm making changes. I'm making the language better. I'm making sure everything makes sense. I'm eliminating redundancies. I'm just really doing a good polish, because the next step is giving this to a couple beta readers. I want to get feedback from people who are in my audience to see if if it works for them, if it resonates with them. Does it meet the promise of the book? So my goal is to have all of that done by May 18th, and I think I can do it. So what I do is I make notes on the pages, and then I type those revisions up, and then it's ready to share with a reader or two. So it's quite a process. It's something to celebrate. Like, each draft must be celebrated, even though I know that there's still a lot more work to go. I've done the best I can on this draft. I think it's pretty good. I get more excited about it the closer I get to finishing it. My thought is that it will be published in the fall, in September or October. So I'll have the summer to do any final revisions, to hire designers to work on designing the interior and the cover, to plan out my promotion strategy, and then it'll come to life in the fall. Perfect timing, I think. So are there any questions? Anybody have any questions about the book process or about the book before we sign off? I just wanted to do a quick check-in and let you all know where I'm at with it. Okay, I'm pretty psyched. It's Friday. I hope this has been inspiring for you or helpful for your book writing process. Have yourself a wonderful, wonderful Friday, and I'll see you next month. I'll be back at the end of April to let you know how it's going. All right, thanks. Bye, everyone.